Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. How is everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing good this Friday evening. I'm actually trying to sign on so I can see your comments while I am doing this. Oop, there I am. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to wait to see if Dr.B is going to be here. I think he's pretty sure he's going to be here, but, I don't know. I texted his assistant to see, but I haven't heard back from him. So I'm just kind of winging it. If he doesn't come or he has to work late and can't make it on right away, you guys know your girl. I'll find something for us to talk about. So while we're waiting for Dr.B, I just kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's been going on in my life and, how I've been feeling and all that good stuff. So if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Nicole and I'm an addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. So I just celebrated 4 years sober, like 2 Saturdays ago, I think. And so I'm super proud of that, actually. Today I went and ate lunch with my parents, and you guys, they got me the prettiest Coach wristlet for my 4-year sobriety birthday. And it just meant so much to me because my dad was like, I'm just freaking so proud of you. Hey, Shay, I'm so proud of you. And I just want you to know I'm proud of you. And I was like, that means so much to me to hear that from my father, Hey, Krissy. So let me get you guys caught up. So I have a new uploading schedule, you guys, and I want you guys to all be aware of it. Hey, Andy. Hey, Cindy. All right. Hey, Anita. Hey, V. Oh, I'm so glad, you guys. Welcome V to the channel. She is new to the channel, and I actually found her on Facebook. She was reaching out in a recovery group, and somebody had recommended that I reach out to her, and so we got linked up, and she is going to start doing this recovery deal, and I'm so proud of you, V. Like, I'm so glad you made it. Yay! Okay, cool. So, hey, Jeff. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. So, my new uploading schedule, you guys, is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So what we're going to do on Mondays, you guys, is we're going to keep doing our big book study and our Narcotics Anonymous basic text. We're going to do that. I might even alternate, like one Monday we do AA, one Monday we do NA, one Monday we do AA, one Monday we do NA. So hopefully I can keep, us on the right track. I know you guys know that last Monday, or was it last Sunday, we did step 4. Okay. And so this next time we're going to read, we're in how it works right now. So it's like explaining to us how to do the steps. Hey, anytime, girl. Hey, Rose. Hey, Sophia. I see you guys. All right. I'm so glad everybody's here. So that's going to be my new Monday night schedule. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to do our study group, okay? On Wednesdays, I'm going to have pre-recorded videos that are like 10 to 20 minutes long that I upload on Wednesdays about whatever topics you guys want me to talk about. Okay, I was talking to Annie on the phone today, and I have a lot of story time videos and things that I think I might re-upload because you guys have never heard them, and they are hilarious. Like, you will die laughing. So I'm thinking about just kind of like re-uploading some of those. And then, but if you want to go watch them today, they're in a playlist labeled Story Times. And also on Fridays, every Friday, you guys, we do this group at 7 p.m. Every Friday, we have Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous, okay? And so for those of you guys that are opiate addicts, Medically Assisted Recovery Anonymous is a new group that people like us have created for addicts who are using methadone or Suboxone in their treatment. Okay. And like you guys know, I'm on Suboxone, and I have been working really hard on tapering. It's a low and slow process for me. And it's been probably, I started in March, like officially started in March. And so it's just one day at a time, slowly but surely. My doctor's actually tapering me down 2 milligrams every third month, you guys. So it's really not a fast process. It goes very, very slow. And so that's what we're going to do on Fridays. We're going to have these groups to where you guys can have support. Hey, Krissy, and I know that a lot of you guys are opiate addicts and you are struggling getting sober and struggling staying sober. And so this is water, just so y'all know. Big gulp of water. Just so you guys know, like, if you're struggling and you keep relapsing, that's why I got on Suboxone. Because I was shooting up Roxy's and I kept relapsing on opiates, you guys. Opiates and methamphetamine were the thing that I struggled with so much. And I would shoot up meth to wake up and go to work and like do activities and go out. And then when I would get home, I would get high on opiates, to try and bring myself down. I remember when I first started shooting up methamphetamine, I thought, oh, well, this is it. This is where it's at. I'm never going back. I'm never going to not do this, right? And then I found opiates and I started shooting up opiates. And then I was like, oh, this is it. I'm never going to stop shooting up opiates. And it was like, I know a lot of people, they're either addicted to one thing or the other, but then you guys know that there's a poly addict, okay? And so poly addicts are addicted to multiple substances, and that was my experience. I've always been addicted to more than one thing at the same time, And so I would interchange these drugs. And that's why for so many years, I struggled even like finding any kind of sobriety, any kind of support, any kind of like just getting sober was so difficult for me for so long, you guys. And so I would go in and out of AA and NA, okay? And I was getting really discouraged because, hold on, guys. Okay. Sorry about that. I was getting really discouraged because I was going in and out of relapse and getting sober. And the way that you're taught in these 12-step programs, which I love the 12 steps, you guys. That's one thing I want y'all to understand. Like I love the 12 steps. But one thing that you're taught in these abstinence-based programs is that abstinence is the only way to get sober. And I truly believe, you guys, that we should all try to get sober through abstinence. But if you keep trying and you're relapsing and you're struggling, there's nothing wrong with getting on Suboxone or methadone to help you, okay? And so because listen, you guys, drugs nowadays you can die, okay? Back when I was shooting up, I wasn't shooting up heroin. I was shooting up roxycodone, okay? So I wasn't going to shoot up fentanyl, but nowadays they have pills that are pressed with fentanyl. Nowadays the heroin has carfentanil and fentanyl in it. It's so, so dangerous. So it's really life or death. It's always been life or death, but it's even more so now. Okay. So if you're an opiate addict and you're struggling staying sober, there's no shame in getting on medically assisted treatment and having that to help you help you get sober, you guys. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's recovery is different, okay? And what works for one person may not work for the next person. Hold on just a second. I'm going to catch up on y'all's comments, okay? Okay, so I see Krissy says, I wouldn't be alive if I hadn't gotten on Subutext. I'm telling you, look into Sublocade. It's awesome that you don't have to take anything. Sublocade is a monthly injection, you guys, and it's just an injection once every 30 days, I think, and it goes into your stomach. I don't know really a lot of people that are on it, but Jeff's wife is on it, and so maybe one day I'll have her on the channel and she can tell you guys about that. Suboxone and Nicole saved my life. Candy, you're so crazy, girl. No, God just put me in your life and to help out. I don't take credit for any of it, you guys. And that's something I want y'all to understand. Like, I don't have the power to save anybody, but I'll tell you this. I am so blessed to be able to be here to help any of you guys. And it is my honor to help you guys. I love being able to be here and be of service to you all. It literally helps me stay sober. So I am so honored to be able to be here with you guys. And I take this so seriously that I'm able to talk to you guys about my life and share it with you guys. And it's so important to me. And that's why I get so worked up when people are defaming my character and saying stuff about me that's not true, because it really is so serious to me about, I really do want to help you guys. And I go out of my way to reach out to people because I know what it was like. I struggled for many, many years in active addiction. Over 10 years I was in active addiction, you guys. And if I could have just pulled my head out of my own ass and accepted help and reached out, then I probably would have gotten sober a long time ago. But I was so afraid to reach out for help, and I was so embarrassed. Hey, Rose. I know, Sophia. Sophia says it's a miracle she made it out of that life. She never saw a way out. Hey, Cindy. So, okay, let me ask you guys something. Let me ask all you guys something. So what is everyone's drug of choice in here? Okay. I know for me, it started out for me, you guys, as I started drinking and smoking pot, but then I started abusing cocaine because I was actually dating this guy in high school who would do cocaine. And so stimulants are what kind of started me off. And then my doctor actually wrote me a prescription when I was like really young, like maybe 15 or 16. He wrote me a prescription for phentermine, which is an amphetamine, because I was really struggling with my weight and I was feeling really insecure and I wanted to lose the weight. And so he gave me those medicines, and that was what started my whole like really obsession with like stimulants. And by the time I was 17, you guys, I was like smoking meth like almost every day. And by the time I graduated high school, it was like methamphetamine, methamphetamine, methamphetamine. Of course, I would dabble with opiates and other drugs, but methamphetamine really took a hold of my life. Methamphetamine was in my story all throughout my addiction. Like, I've always used meth. There was a time where I was like, oh, I'm going to get sober and I'm going to stop all drugs. And then meth would be there. It was one of those drugs that I could not stop doing. Let me find out somebody's talking about you, Nicole. Oh, Jeff, I will text you and tell you about it later, but you will just die. Heroin, crack cocaine, basically speedball every day for years. Yeah, Sophia, I'm so glad you're alive. Hold on, you guys. Let me see if I don't know if Dr. B, I haven't talked to him today. And usually I talk to him or his assistant before they come on. So I'm just going to see. Okay. Okay. So when he gets here, he'll let me know. Okay. Okay. Tell him to comment when he gets here. Okay, cool. All right, that's awesome. Okay. Sorry, guys. Yay. Okay. No. Thanks, Candy. I see you, girl. I see all you guys. And I have to look at your comments right here because I have you on my phone. So I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, so Marissa says heroin. I had never done any drugs before that besides smoke weed, maybe 4 or 5 times, but I was introduced to heroin by a good friend at the age of 20. Isn't it so strange how a lot of us, you guys, were like, okay, I was brought up like, back in the DARE days. Remember DARE to keep kids off drugs? Um, and that's all they taught you about in school was say no to drugs, right? They didn't tell you why. They didn't tell you to say no to drugs because if you did drugs that you could die, they just told you to say no to drugs. And so, which for me, I'm more of the kind of person, like, especially with my son, you guys, like, I want to teach him why he doesn't want to do drugs. You know what I mean? Like, if you do drugs, XYZ can happen to you. And I think that's really important for us to like start educating our young children about the harm and the things that can happen to us if we choose that wrong path, Reading y'all's comments. Oh, so got hooked after surgery. Cindy, I see you. B says, I started with alcohol and marijuana, and that led to pills, cocaine, and ended with meth every day. B, I am like when I started, methamphetamine took my soul away from me, girl. Took my soul. And then when I started, I've told this story on my channel before. When I started injecting methamphetamine, it was like I might as well had sold my soul to the devil, y'all, because when I injected methamphetamine, it took my life. It was so strong and so powerful. And the feeling produced by intravenous methamphetamine was so euphoric. That's the only way I can explain it to you guys, is that the euphoria was so intense that I never wanted to stop. And it gave me so much energy and it made me feel so much better inside. It made me feel like I could do anything. It made me feel pretty. It made me feel skinny. It made me feel popular. It made me feel outgoing. And once I started doing it, what it ended up doing was ruining my life. Within 6 months of shooting up my first shot of meth, I had got a felony and been arrested, got my car impounded, lost a whole bunch of friends because I was just strung out to the max. And so it took my soul, you guys. That's the only way I can explain it to you, is that it took my soul. And it was the scariest thing that I've ever went through in my whole entire life. Like, it really was that scary. Oh, really? Annie, that's crazy. Okay, let me see. I'm going to send this link to Dr. B. Hold on, guys. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. I know I have his thing. In fact, I need to find his. Hold on, guys. Let me see what y'all are saying. Hey, Dr. B, I'm going to send you a link right now. Sorry about that. Dr. B. Okay. Hey. Yay. We got questions. I wrote them down too. Oh. Hey, Dora. Dr. B, what's your Gmail? I don't know why I can't find you in here. Or what's your email address that I sent it to last time? Do you know? Here. Hold on, guys. I gotta get this email real fast. I know I had it. Why can't I find this? Okay, hold on. I just had it in here. Hold on, guys. It was so easy last time. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like over here screwing up. I'm gonna lose you for a bit. There you go. I see. Thanks, Dr. B. Okay. B A N I M A D at B A I. There you are. Okay. All right. Okay. I just sent you hey, Dr. B. I just sent you the invite. So let me know if you got it and if you can get on. I know, right? I had that one that was Dr. B. Get Dr. B at something. That's the one I used last time, and I don't know what was that, Dr. B. Let me know. Oh, there you are. Okay, I got that one too. I've sent it to both of your emails, so just let me know when you get it. Yay, we have 30 people in here, you guys. That's awesome. Everybody just hang out. We're going to get Dr. B on here. I got a whole thing of questions, and then if you guys have any questions while I'm on here, I have the chat to the side so I can see you guys' messages. Hey, Ian. Thank you, Krissy. Annie, what are they? Go ahead and put them in the chat so I can write them down. Hey, Sherry, what's up? Welcome to everybody that's here. I'm so glad to have you guys here. Gotcha, Cindy. Hey, Heather.
Sure, I think I'm on.
Hey, Doctor. Hey, Heather.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I think I'm on. Oh, how do I turn this off?
She has to
Hi,
have your headphones on.
can you guys hear me? No, there's a way to make. I think I'm on. Oh, how do I turn this off? There's a way to make. I think I need to turn the volume down or something.
Yeah, it's I can hear it echoing.
I think I need to turn the volume down or something.
Yeah, it's I can hear it echoing.
Yeah, but these aren't that kind of earphones. Oh. So hold on.
Oh, I wonder if I should get my earphones.
Oh, I know what I did last time. Hold on.
Okay.
I did last time. Hold on. It's just this echo, and I don't remember what I did last time. I muted something.
Yeah. It's okay. Take your time. I'm writing down questions that people have in the chat.
Hunter.
Oh, it says mute your YouTube, Doctor. That's what the people are saying.
That's what we did last time. Okay. Okay, I've muted my YouTube.
Sounds good to me.
works. You can turn up the volume.
Oh, turn up what?
No, I said now you can turn it up without echoing.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, I can hear you too. So should I go to YouTube? Is that what I should do? I think so.
Yeah. So right here, there's questions, but I don't know.
A little louder.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
I see me. I don't. Can you? How do I see them? Oh, I got it. It works now. Okay. Hey, can I have some water? Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. I've got so many questions for you today that I have come prepared, Doctor.
Okay, I'll try. I didn't prepare. I just got off work. I shut down early on Fridays to come to do this.
Well, thank you so much for coming over. And I'm sorry about last week, but I feel a lot better today. Last week, I was just having like, oh, Lord, it's been an emotional roller coaster the last week, just like with my anxiety and depression. And I don't know if it's from like me tapering, but I think it might have a little to do with that. But I haven't gone down anymore. But I know that in 2 weeks, I'm going back to the doctor and I'm going to go down. And I don't know if it's like I'm having a little bit of anxiety or what, but it's like I've been struggling like with my emotions a lot, you know?
What are you tapering? What is it? What were you on and what are you on now?
Okay, so in 2015, I started out on 12 milligrams of Suboxone. In January of 2019, this year, I took it upon myself to take my dose from 12 milligrams to 6 milligrams, and I jumped off Lexapro, all in January. And it was not a good idea. It was the worst decision I had ever made in my whole entire life. And I realized it really quickly within the first week. And I went back up on my Suboxone to 12 milligrams and just stopped trying to taper myself and got back on my Lexapro. Well, in March, I went to see my doctor and we finally we worked out a taper program. And in March, I went from 12 milligrams of Suboxone down to 10 milligrams.
Okay.
Every third month, I go down 2 milligrams. So in May, I went back and I went from 10 milligrams down to 8 milligrams. And that's where I'm at right now. And then in August, the second week of August, I go back and I'm supposed to go down, I think, 2 more milligrams. And I haven't noticed any changes physically, like in being ill or not feeling well, but I have noticed like just my emotions have been different, you know?
Absolutely. Now, is it time really for you to taper yet?
Well, I've been on Suboxone for 4 years and I feel like I want to taper, but that's what I was talking with everybody about on my channel. I was telling them that when I get down to about 2 milligrams, I might just sit there and not go down for a while because I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And I've been feeling like maybe I'm not ready. What if I relapse? What if I make the wrong decision? No, I can't kneel. What if I make the wrong decision? What if I, and so the closer it gets and the lower I go down, it's like I get this anxiety feeling like, am I making the right decision,
Yeah. Without knowing too much detail, if you're down to 8 to 10, and just from the little bit that you told me, number one, I always look at everything in terms of risk and benefit. Okay, and the benefits of what you being on this far outweigh the risk of this medication. That being said, there's also the psychological need. Hey, I want to go down. I want to go down. Okay, fine, wherever. Now it's up to you and your doctor, and you guys should discuss it. I would stick between 8 and 10 for at least another 3 months and be happy with it and don't stress over it. Why ruin something that works? That's my thought on the little information that you gave me.
Yeah. And when I go back in August, I'll probably talk to him about just like sticking at one point and not going down anymore from there. Because here's my goal, and this is why I'm trying to get down a little bit lower. It's because of the side effects that I'm experiencing, and I'm just going to lay it out there for you, Doc. I have absolutely no sex drive, and I'm married, and I have a husband, and I want to have sex with my husband.
Sure.
And so it's like it's non-existent. And so that's one of the main things that bothers me about it. And then like the overall, and this is one of the questions I had for you. I have this just lack of motivation, lethargy. Like I just would be totally content with never getting off the couch and watching YouTube for the rest of my life. And I used to have this like, just I wanted to get up and I wanted to do things, but I have this overall just like a lack of motivation and lethargy. And I feel like if I got down a little bit lower, that maybe that would alleviate a little bit.
So let me ask you this: even the fact that you've gone from 12 to 8, have any of those symptoms improved?
No.
Okay. All right. So have you had all your female hormones checked by your doctor, endocrinologist, and have you had your thyroid checked? And when was the last time you got a full set of labs?
That is my next step. So I called my doctor today, my family doctor, and I set up a pap smear and a thyroid gland check and all that stuff, because my friend is a doctor, one of my girls that subscribes to the channel, and she is actually an OBGYN. And that was one of the first things that she said to me: you need to go get your hormones checked.
Yes. And that's an easy solution, especially with males. So before you go down any further, I would get all your hormones checked, and certainly get your thyroid checked. Make sure your constipation if there's any constipation, that's addressed, and then go back to take it down. Your sexual drive issue is certainly a legitimate concern. I empathize with that and I understand that, but get your hormones checked before you go down any further, because there could be an easy solution to this. And you're not responding as you're decreasing your doses, except your anxiety and mood is changing, which is not expected. So before you go down any further, please get your hormones checked and talk to both doctors, okay?
Yes, sir. I gotcha.
All right.
Okay, you ready? I have some questions for you.
On here. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Do you have any experience with or knowledge of studies of 5-HTP being taken to help with serotonin?
I don't think, I don't have experience with it. Mm-hmm. I don't think the studies, I don't think the strong studies are there. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's about all I can say about it. There is not, you said I'm sorry, you said with serotonin?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because the same thing that a lot of people that I have talked to and people that are giving me these questions, we are all experiencing the same lack of motivation and lethargy. And so I was actually on a podcast the other day, and the girl was talking about 5-HTP being a natural substance that you can take for, to up your serotonin, but it also needs to be monitored because you can get an overdose of serotonin. But what's happening with all the people that I talk to and people from my channel that are either on methadone or Suboxone is that we're all kind of experiencing this like just overall like mood, just down kind of mood, like lack of motivation and just slowness.
Okay. So let me give you the short answer on 5-HTP. So I don't know if I should give you how deeply I want to go into this. The short answer is there is no evidence. Okay. And mm-hmm. so these medications, these supplements are marketed. There's no regulation or real testing. So here's the thing. Let's say I tell you dopamine is important for your mood. So here, take some dopamine. Okay, it's absolutely true. Dopamine is important for your mood and decision making. Now I put some in a pill and give it to you. To say that is a long ways away from saying, I'm going to swallow this pill. It's going to get absorbed. It's going to go through first pass, second pass metabolism, not go out your kidney and pee it out. It's going to get you in your bloodstream. It's going to cross the blood-brain barrier and go exactly to the spot that it's needed. That's a difficult thing to achieve. That's my general point about supplements, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, that being said, 5-HTP, there is no evidence for it in anxiety, Alzheimer's, general nervous system disorders, fibromyalgia. I think alcoholism, I think they were talking about it, headaches, obesity, schizophrenia, and even heroin withdrawal, I think was some of this stuff. So the answer is this stuff just generally, it's all anecdotal whether it works or not. And in fact, there are dangers with taking this stuff. That's number one. Number two, a lot of the symptoms that people are describing, depending on where they are in their recovery, if it's early on, well, it takes a while for the neurochemicals and the hormones to get back into place. Number two, if you've been on this medication long enough, you could have a decrease in certain hormones. And the thing to do is go to an endocrinologist, or if you have a good family medicine or internal medicine doctor, and have all your labs drawn to see where you're at. Does that answer the question?
Yes, absolutely. And I also I need to tell you that I have hepatitis C. So when I feel like I'm having this tiredness feeling, I also have to think maybe it's the hepatitis C also affecting my energy levels and the way I feel. And I also know that my diet needs to be better. But when I feel like for me, especially as an addict, being sober and getting my life together and being on Suboxone, it's I feel like I think everything is because of the medication that I'm on, oh, well, it must be the Suboxone. I had one girl reach out and she was asking about her hair falling out from Suboxone. And I was telling her, yeah, she was losing her hair. And I told her, well, that's not because of the Suboxone. It could be from stress. It could be from our diet, not eating well. It could be from, lack of sleep, lack of nutrition. But I forget these things because I think, oh, well, it must be from the medication. And so a lot of other people, like when I was talking to her about her hair, that can be a lot from stress. So I have to remind myself that, there's so many different factors like exercise, hormones, and all these things that I need to have taken care of. And, when you get sober and you've been an active addict for so long, you don't go to the doctor. You don't do those kind of things. Take care of your teeth. So all these things feel like they're going wrong all at the same time. And I got to get to the doctor and follow through with these appointments and start addressing one thing at a time and checking it off my list.
Okay, Nicole, you just brought up something that I'm so happy you brought it up. And this goes for every single one of you. And it's under-discussed, underrated. And in fact, I just took all of my staff at my IOP, PHP, Sober Living Home Medical Office to a dinner. Let me tell you guys where I'm coming from. Number one, I don't advocate any drug companies, pharmaceuticals whatsoever. I don't even let these people in any of my practices. Number two, I'm going to go to what you just brought up. Get the hepatitis C treated now, every single one of you. I mean that. I can say that 5 times. Get the hepatitis C addressed now. And I say that for every single one of you. And I should have asked you, hey, do you have hepatitis C? Nobody right now. Number one, this needs to be addressed in the substance abuse community. And I'm probably one of the few addiction doctors. And in about 5 years, every addiction doctor is going to be doing this. This disease needs to be cured. There's a cure for it. It's going to hurt you. It explains a lot of the symptoms you're having, and not a single one of you. And you should find a doctor that really understands the public health issue, the individual health issue, its connection with substance abuse, because it's no longer baby boomers that have it. It's the substance abuse community with all of the stigma, with everything attached to it. Every single one of you needs to go in and get your hepatitis C cured. Period. End of story.
Well, can I tell you what happened? So I went in and I got tested 2 years ago and found out that I had hepatitis C. Okay, so I got the test. They told me, we need to put in and find out, we need to get you the cure. And I was like, okay, I have insurance. They denied me for the medication and said that my hepatitis C was not far enough along for me to be able to have the medication and my insurance pay for it.
So all of that is bullshit. Now we know the quicker you treat it, because your liver fibrosis level, the earlier you treat it, the lower your risk of future hepatocellular carcinoma. Things have changed. And in fact, what I want you to do once we're done, you need to contact me about that. I'm going to talk to the company, and I'm going to have someone out there. That's BS. Okay, that's complete nonsense. If your insurance is doing that, that's wrong. Let me connect you to a rep from the company out there. This needs to happen. If anything, go back to your primary care, get all your tests, and see if they'll pay for it now, because they must have changed their position on this. And I really want you to follow up on this. If you get denied again, let me know, and I'm going to have someone from the big multi-billion-dollar company out there, their rep out there, contact you and your insurance company and your doctor, and this needs to be addressed. I'm going to say it again. Every single one of you needs to get tested for hepatitis C and needs to get it cured ASAP, please.
Right. And it's, it was really it was disheartening whenever I was like, but I truly believe this was a year and a half ago when they denied me. And so now I've heard so many people say that things have changed and that now they're treating it, even if it is, new or fresh in your system.
The studies are clear. The sooner you treat, the better.
Okay. Thank you for answering that question. And I promise you, I will check back with you and let you know what my doctor says. But okay. I'm pretty sure if I go back, again, this is so important. And so many of us, we don't do it. We don't follow through. We're afraid to go to the doctor. We're afraid that we're going to go in and they're going to say, oh, well, you have this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, I've got to take care of this. It's so important because it's going to affect me in the long run. And if I don't know why for me as an addict, and I know many of you guys struggle with it too, why it's so difficult to just go to the doctor. I don't know if it's because I'm afraid that, they're going to think badly of me or what it is, but it's like, just go and get it taken care of, because it's going to help me. But it's like I practiced not going and running from the doctor for so long. It's like now I'm like,
Yeah, that's the last thing you should be doing is starting off by cutting off your Suboxone, get your hormones tested, follow up with the hepatitis C, stay where you're at with the. In fact, I'm so adamant about this. I'll even say, shoot, go back up to your 10 or 12, whatever it is, but get this other stuff done. And then deal with the Suboxone. That's my opinion on this, guys.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now that we're sitting here and we're talking it out, I need to get those issues addressed before I try to go down anymore, because me going down could hinder these things, or anything could happen. And I want to be as successful as I can when I'm doing my taper. So I agree, and I will follow through with that, and I will let you know how it goes. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, I want to ask you a question about. Okay, why would somebody's hands and feet swell if they're on Suboxone? When me and Neil first started out on the medication, my husband's on it also. I came home one evening and his ankles and his hands were completely swollen up. Why does that happen sometimes?
Did it go away?
Well, yeah, it went away. It took about a day and a half, 2 days. Yeah. But it was like you could touch his skin and it would leave a little mark there and go out like that.
Yeah. Did it happen to both of you?
No, it didn't happen to me. It just happened to him.
Yeah, it's not really a known side effect. It could have been for whatever reason, something in the Suboxone increased the vascular permeability of the walls. And let me look up right now. I've actually never, you can have a drug reaction where that happens to anything, but I don't believe it could have been a very mild allergic reaction to Suboxone. But let me look right now to see if it is common enough where they even have it listed, and I'll look right now as we're talking. Continue.
Okay.
I'll just look right now.
So this is what happened whenever we called the doctor after his, because it was mainly his ankles that were swelling up, and what they were saying was that it was right when we got on the medication too. So we had just transferred from active addiction. He just, went from like shooting methamphetamine and shooting all these drugs and then got on Suboxone. And I think what the doctors were saying is that his liver or something was having problems like filtering something, and that's why his ankles swelled up like that.
Well, the reason can't be the liver. I don't think so, and they don't know, and nobody's going to know. Look, there's the classical way to approach any medical issue is a tincture of time, see how it goes. I don't see it as one of the side effects. It could be, but that's almost a side effect with any drug. The fact is that what I would have done is say, oh, okay, keep an eye on it for 2 days. Keep your feet up. Don't take in too much salt. Come see me in 2 days. And if it's getting worse, I would look for a rash. And if there's no rash, I would check your kidneys and make sure they're filtering okay. And by then, the stuff would have gone away. I don't exactly know why it happened. The end mechanism is the same. It's either vascular permeability, liver, or kidney. And since it went away, my suspicion is it was a quick reaction of some sort that eventually went away. I don't know the exact answer, and it doesn't look like it's common enough to be listed as a side effect.
Okay. Now, Marissa has a question, so I'm going to the live chat. Now, Dr. B, we got 32 people in here on the live chat, so I'm going to go through some of these questions, okay?
Okay.
The past week, I've been experiencing a lot of nausea. When I stand up, I feel dizzy and lightheaded, and it seems around 12 to 14 hours after I take my dose of Suboxone. I feel like I cannot breathe. My heart races. I feel like I can't get enough oxygen, and I'm very fatigued. Could this be a side effect of the Suboxone? And that's from Marissa.
Okay. I'm going to need, I would have to ask Marissa a bunch of more questions, and here would be the questions. Okay. Have you ever had this before? How long have you been on Suboxone? Do you dose once a day? My guess is going to be, and then the other question, is the room spinning or do you feel simply nauseous? All of these make a difference. The most quickest thing I can think of without having the opportunity to talk to Marissa is that it sounds to me like she's having a little bit of panic attack, anxiety 12 hours after she takes a dose. Maybe the dosing intervals aren't correct and she needs to spread out the dosing intervals. Stay well hydrated, obviously, but it doesn't sound like dehydration. Honestly, I need to ask her about 10 more questions to really get to the root of it. That's the most first thing I can think of from what she's saying. It sounds like she's having a little panic anxiety attack, and that might be where the dosing is not spread out correctly, and she's having that kind of reaction, and she would change the dosing. But to give a better answer, I'm sorry, Marissa, I have to talk to you to really pin it down, and I'm pretty good at pinning things down.
So, Dr. B, so when a person is dosing with Suboxone, if you're going to split your dose, because I take my dose half in the morning and half in the afternoon, is there an amount of time that you should wait from the time you dose that first dose in the morning till you take that second one? And the reason I half my dose is because I'm on the pills, and the pill is pretty big and I can't stick it all underneath my tongue and take it at once, so I break it in half. Is there a certain amount of time that you should wait between if you're going to take half of it in the morning and half of it in the afternoon?
No, because in theory, in theory, it's supposed to be a one dose daily for 24 hours. but clinical experience has shown that about 98% of people split the doses throughout the day. So here's how. So if you're the type of person that just does 24 milligrams once a day, and that's good for 24 hours, go ahead. So if that's the case, then waiting an hour versus 6 hours doesn't matter. What I look for in the first few days of getting someone on it is in that 24 hours, you should have no withdrawals and no cravings. So let's get to a place where that is. So if for you, that's 2 milligrams every 3 or 4 hours, which it's not for most people, okay, let's do it that way. If it's 8 milligrams 3 times a day, okay, let's do it that way. If you take 16 milligrams in the morning and 8 before bed, let's do it that way. So in theory, no, you can take it, as far apart, as close together as you want. Certainly don't take it to get a rush, taking 32 milligrams, and that gives you a big rush, and then you're hurting in about 8 hours. Don't do that. But the goal is to spread the dosing where you don't have any withdrawals or any cravings in your 24-hour period.
Yeah, and I think that's why I split my dose, is because I take it in the morning, and that's like I start my morning off with it. And then by the mid-afternoon, probably like 2-ish, then I take that next, piece. And sometimes I don't even have to take that, or I don't remember to take that second piece, but most of the time I do. But I've gotten so accustomed to just taking that first part in the morning and then that second part in the afternoon that's just what has worked for me so far. And that's how I've done it the whole time I've been on it.
Sure.
Now I have a question from Krissy, and this is a question that I want to know too, because I have a lot of pregnant women who watched my channel who have felt so ashamed because they're on Subutex. And so I would really like it if you could talk about Suboxone and how it can affect fertility, and if it's okay or safe to be on Suboxone or Subutex while you're pregnant if you're monitored by your doctor.
Great question. I could go on about this forever because everybody I know is confused about what the naloxone does. I want to answer that stuff. If someone wants to, I will tell you about the naloxone and Suboxone. But let me give her the short answer. When you are pregnant, you don't want the naloxone in your strip because that is contraindicated in pregnancy. So go to the pure form of buprenorphine, which is Subutex. That's number one. It's safe. Now, when you say it's safe, everything has a side effect of some sort, okay? The point is that we know that being on Subutex, and it's like this. Look, if a woman's going to have postpartum depression and become suicidal, it's better for her to stop breastfeeding, get on medication, take care of the baby, and give the baby formula, even though we know formula is bad for you, okay? Because the benefit of her doing that for the baby is much greater than the risk. There should be no stigma with the woman being on Subutex. That's insane. What I do is I get immediately in contact with their OBGYN, and I watch them very closely and work with them closely. And then when they're about to go into the hospital, because everyone's so uneducated about this, I write them a letter to give the nursing so they don't call CPS on them. I call them myself, and I'm like, look, Linda's doing fantastic. She is on Subutex. Everything should proceed as normal. Please discharge the baby home with her, and she's going to get back on the Suboxone and Subutex shortly. So you don't want the naloxone and the medication. Give me 1 second. Trin, this is the patient's mom. I'm sorry. Can you get this and call them and say I cannot talk right now? Thank you. I'm sorry, guys.
So okay.
So Subutex is fantastic. I have had many girls on Subutex, successful pregnancies. I've kept in close touch with their OB, communicated closely, and it's okay. Do it. What is the alternative? if it's going to
shooting heroin and dying and killing your baby.
Right, and the kid will get really addicted. Two, if you think you're going to white knuckle this and it's going to completely put your hormones in dysregulation, put a lot of stress on it, well, guess what? The baby feels stress through your blood, which goes into the placenta. That's how the baby feeds. Everything you feel, your child feels. So this is the situation you're in, and Subutex is okay, and it is not contraindicated during pregnancy. Talk closely with your OBGYN, hook him up with your addiction doctor, make sure you have full support and professional love through these practitioners so they can communicate that with the staff when you go into the hospital, because these people don't know. And, I've had people call CPS on my patient and all this weird stuff. So I support them all the way through delivery.
Yes, and I've had so many young ladies come to me and tell me that their children were removed from their care right when they gave birth because they were on Subutex prescribed by a doctor.
That should never happen, and that's why I keep close. Remember, that's why I just said I write them a letter, and I say, if you guys have any questions, call me. Treat this patient with respect, and like every other patient. They are doing exactly fine, and I put my name behind it. Send their kid home with them.
Right. I mean, that didn't happen to me personally, but I cannot even imagine being an addict and going out and seeking help through medically assisted treatment and then being penalized and having my child taken from me because I was following the doctor's orders and doing what I was supposed to be doing in my recovery. I mean, can you imagine that? I'm already so traumatized from the experience that I had with CPS when I was in my active addiction that I cannot even imagine if I was doing what I was supposed to be doing and had my child taken away. Like, my child was taken away because I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. So when I hear these stories of women having their children removed while they're in a doctor's care on Subutex, it literally makes me so angry.
Me too.
And so many people, they judge and they stigmatize women who are pregnant, who are they're choosing to get help for their addiction. And would you rather them be out prostituting, out snorting and shooting heroin and other drugs that's going to put their child at risk? Or would you rather them be, under the care of a physician who can make sure that they're healthy and their baby's happy?
Yeah, you really ruffled my feathers right now, because I'm kind of worked up about this, because I guess this is part of your addiction doctor's job. They got to jump on this and support you. Let me just qualify. The patient has to be stable for me to do that. I communicate honestly, but when someone's stable, taking their medication, sticking close to me, man, something like this really pisses me off. And it's unacceptable in the 21st century here. I do not like this at all.
Well, as addicts, we need to be open and honest with our doctors and tell our doctors, hey, doc, I'm struggling. Or if... Can you give my... Hold on, baby. That's what No, ask your daddy to do it. That's the problem. What happens is there's a miscommunication and a breakdown between the patient addict and our doctors. And that's what I try to encourage with the people here on my channel is like, be honest with your doctor. If you are getting high or taking other medications while you're on Suboxone, be honest. Let them know. Tell them, I'm still struggling. I'm still using. I'm still wanting to go out and get high. If you have people around you that are using and you're trying to stay sober and on medically assisted treatment, you need to let your doctor know. Like, I live with people who are getting high. You need to be talking to somebody honestly and keeping those lines of communication open, because what we do is we think the doctor and all these people, they're the enemy. I can't tell them, but the doctor is there to help you. And so I know for me, I always thought everybody was against me and they were all going to try and like attack me and get me in trouble and all this stuff. But that's not what it is. When we're in medically assisted treatment and we have our doctors, we need to utilize them because they're on our team.
Absolutely. Oops, sorry. I couldn't agree with you more. And well, I mean, little by little, we just have to change the society, the culture, the stigma on this. But yeah, I deal with this crap all the time, every day. Whether it's with the courts, when I'm trying to deal with whether it's probation, parole, the judges, wherever it is, this issue comes up. And hopefully in time, we can all change it little by little with all of this. So yes, I agree with you 100%.
Okay, so you touched a little bit on naloxone. Will you tell us all why naloxone is in Suboxone,
Sure.
what it does, what it's for, how it affects us, all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Great question. I've never heard a patient come to me or someone trying to drug seek and tell me the truth on this. I don't know why it's such confusion. So Suboxone. Let's. I think the best way to answer this is historical. Oh, by the way, as a side note, the final and last interview with Dave just came out 20 minutes ago. I hope you guys watch it.
Oh, listen to me. They're all plugging your channel in the comment section. Annie said Dr. B has an awesome series on his channel called Reality Bites.
Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah, and you guys listen, Dr. B has a channel. Like you guys need to go check out his channel, and he comments back and he'll talk to you. He loves engaging with his subscribers. And so if you haven't subscribed to his channel, then you need to subscribe to his channel because you're missing out.
Thanks, Nicole. This Suboxone. So here's how it is. Buprenorphine came out, Subutex, whatever you want to call it. The generic name of the drug is buprenorphine. All the other names are brand names, whether it's Subutex, Suboxone. So it came out, and it's the same thing as Subutex, a pill form. And so what started to happen, because an addict behaves a certain way, and that's what they do. They started chopping it up and shooting it up in their veins to get a little quick rush, whatever. Okay. I don't really care that they were doing that. To me, it's like saying in Central Africa, you got people dying of malaria, but the US and FDA blocked the medication going there because of money. And so they start trading it on the black market. I couldn't care less. But here's what was happening. Some people were chopping it up and shooting up in their vein, trying to get a rush. Then this company came and said, what can I do to market this better than buprenorphine or Subutex? They created this strip of film. And okay, you can't really chop up the strip of film. The other thing they did is they added naloxone to it. And here's what happens. They're like, look, you can't shoot up a strip of film, which I know people that do. And if you shoot it up, the naloxone, which binds to the opiate receptors much quicker and much stronger than buprenorphine, will not allow you to get high. So don't shoot it up. But when you put this stuff under your tongue, the naloxone is not even biologically active. So whether the stuff you put under your tongue is Subutex, which is buprenorphine alone, or Suboxone, which is buprenorphine plus the naloxone. The only thing that gets turned on is the buprenorphine. The naloxone is only turned on and works faster than buprenorphine if you shoot it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So the naloxone it doesn't even get into our system unless I am breaking it down and putting it into my veins.
Exactly. It gets in your system, but you pee it right out. It becomes biologically active if you shoot it up in your vein, and then it blocks the buprenorphine because it's what's called a competitive inhibitor, and it goes in there and binds much faster and stronger than buprenorphine or heroin.
So, Dr. B, I actually have had experience with people shooting up Suboxone and having horrible infections and endocrinitis and abscesses from shooting it up, and then it like not going in there right and messing them up so bad. Like several people. And then over on my friend Megan's channel, she was talking about it too. A couple of her friends had gotten like infections from it. So it's really not a good idea to ever do that. Like, and I really don't understand why people would do that, but you know what? I think when we're interactive addiction and we're seeking that relief, we will do anything to try and get that relief, even if it's from a medication that we know really isn't going to do it, you know?
Absolutely. And I would say it's not even trying to get relief, it's the ritual that the addict becomes used to and the brain is hijacked to go through, shooting up. Now, I knew a kid that I took care of for 2-3 years. What he would do is he had no veins. He had nothing to do. He would take some water in his syringe, chop up his Suboxone, put it in the syringe, and because he knew that the rectal passage has a lot of veins, he would just take the syringe and shove it up his butt and inject himself, and nothing happened. But doing that gave him some relief. It's the ritual of that. And that's what you need to try and break. And, we can talk about that at length, but it's that part of the brain that goes beyond what Suboxone does, and it's the frontal cortex. It's been so hijacked by the midbrain that ritual itself is some relief. And one of the things I try to do with Suboxone is change your daily ritual. I don't care, it's saving your life. Instead of shoving a needle in your arm, hey, I need to get my Suboxone. And that might sound like a bad thing, but I'd rather have you that ritual, have that ritual and save you from death and everything else that comes with heroin addiction and all the other stuff than going through the ritual of shoving a needle in your arm. So it's the ritual, guys. And you're right, it's insane. I mean, this is something meant for the mouth. It's a toxic chemical to put in your vein. Your vein is not made for taking that Suboxone. It wasn't made for that. So there's an insanity involved in it, but it just shows you how powerful the addiction drive is.
Oh, it's so powerful. And that's with injecting, it was the cycle. It was some kind of obsession for me when I would inject drugs. And it was not just it wasn't just the feeling that it produced, but it was, like you say, it was the setting it up and getting it ready and like doing it with different people. And it was an obsession of mine. And if I could not inject the drugs I wanted to inject, I didn't want to use them until I could get a needle to inject them,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would go to all lengths to if I didn't have a syringe, I would go and I would panhandle at every place I could get until I could get up enough money to go buy a bag of syringes.
Wow.
It was bad. Okay, I got some more questions for you. Are you ready?
Of course.
Okay, let me see what I got. Okay, are there any anxiety meds that you would recommend that do well with Suboxone? I was prescribed this propanol, 10 milligrams, and the doctor said it was for blood pressure, but in small doses it was good for anxiety. But I took it and it just made my anxiety worse. So anxiety while you're on Suboxone, is there any medications that don't interact with the Suboxone that can cause you danger that you can think of off the top of your head?
Okay. So propranolol is a beta blocker. It is a blood pressure medication. It is used with some efficacy for certain anxieties. I think the doctor is trying to avoid benzodiazepines. No, because what I do is tailor every one of my patients. Here's the general concern of the question. If you look at the warnings and there's literature, hey, don't give people benzos that are on opiates. Okay, that is true. It does increase the people dying in respiratory depression, but the interpretation of that data is wrong. And the reason it's wrong is because it really doesn't apply. And please go to your doctor. I don't want to give you guys any categorical realities here. I have many patients on Suboxone that I keep on low dose benzos. Okay, and it takes a little bit of courage of your conviction to do that. And I eventually get them off the benzos over time, but sometimes the benzo is what is needed. That being said, I try everything with every patient. Now, whether that's an antidepressant like Zoloft at the right dose for anxiety, or whether it's Buspar, or when I finally go, I'll go to benzos, very low dose, but then you got to come in and see me sometimes every week, sometimes every 2 weeks until you're very stable at that dose and I'm comfortable. In addition, I really recommend certain applications from the iPhone. One of them is called Calm, Calm, as in Larry, Calm. It's a wonderful app. It's free. It's mindfulness. It's validated by scientific studies. I tell them to do that. I tell them to see a therapist, but I work and that's why I don't like giving generalized answers. The only generalized answer I will give, many doctors may disagree with me, but I think they're completely misinterpreting the data. Now look, a drug addict is probably going to have some anxiety, and whether it's from past trauma, whether it's from years of substance abuse, whether it's from GABA dysregulation, but there are some patients that need to be on benzos. If I go down that road, I watch them very closely. I hope that helps. I don't like to put things in a box, and I like to treat every patient differently. But again, apps like Calm, they're amazing. Mindfulness is amazing. Boost Bar works for some of my patients. As a last resort, depending on the patient and what my history and physical and repeated visits tell me, I will put somebody on a benzo. And usually it's a low dose Klonopin, maybe a low dose Valium, maybe a low dose Ativan. Almost nobody is on Xanax. And if I put you on that, you will be watched very closely. And if I see any disruption in your behavior that's suspicious, I will honestly tell you, we will have to cut that back, and you got to come in and see me every 3 days and get you under control. I really do that. I'll make people come in and see me every 3 days. I don't charge them, so just so you don't think it's for money. But if I need to see you every 3 days, you will come every 3 days and see me until we get things under control.
Right, because it's important to just make sure that they're being monitored, and that I totally get that, and that's what I think. A lot of people there, it's so individualized to each person, so what works for some person might not work for me. Like me, I can't take it. You couldn't give me benzodiazepines. If I will not take them as prescribed, I will not do it. I will eat them like they are candies. I will pop them like M&Ms and Skittles and eat the whole prescription in one day.
Yeah. So again, this is that you got to be careful. I got a guy, and then my benzo tapers. I got a kid that's a polysubstance abuse. He will inhale anything. We are doing a 1-year benzo taper, and let me tell you, he's doing he kept going to detox after detox after detox. For the first time, he's got his life back. He's got a job. He's going to the gym. He's eating well. His family loves him. His wife loves him. His kids loves him. But you know what? The young man comes in to see me every week on Friday. Then he's also at my IOP. He gets 1 week worth of benzos, and everything's got to look good. And he loves it. And we're down to 1 milligram of Klonopin, and I let him drive the bus. He loves the empowerment, and it should be very tailored to the individual. And I'm sure there's great doctors out there. You guys just have to find them. Hey, by the way, I'm kind of blind, guys, but I see some stuff says, hey, thanks, Dr. B, or whatever. Thank you, guys, for the nice stuff you're writing. But thank you. I'm trying to read that stuff, but I'm not good at multitasking. I'm trying to pay attention to your questions and Nicole here. But yes, I tailor it to the individual.
You're doing a great job, Dr. B. And a lot of these questions in here are like questions. Can I ask you, if my viewers, if the people in here have any questions and they want, could they contact you or email you to ask you those questions that are more specific to them?
Look, sometimes, so they can, I guess, Austin kind of manages this, and I think he's at the movies right now, but they can do a couple. My assistant is laughing. They can do a few things. On my channel, I try to follow very closely and answer as many questions I can in the comments. Number 2, I guess you can send Austin an email. Number 3, I shouldn't do this, but I feel so compelled at times because people ask questions that I really want to answer, personally. And I just, I've done this a few times and I shouldn't do it. I go on there and I put my medical office number and I'm like, just call and talk to me and I'll give you a good detailed answer. So there's multiple ways to get a hold of me. My problem is my bandwidth. I am so busy and so behind in everything I'm doing, and I have an 8-month-old child. But I'm yes, they can answer me, and I'll do whatever I can as much as I can, guys. And on your show, I will answer. Good places here. There was some question about respiratory rate that I really want to answer this week. If they come onto your show, it's a great place where I get a chance to speak and answer their questions.
Yeah, Cindy was actually asking about, she's on Seroquel and Suboxone, and she was on 24 milligrams, and her doctor took her down because he was afraid that her respiratory rate was going to be affected by the I'm not sure if this is why, but she told me she was on Seroquel and Suboxone also, and another medication, Lamictal, I think. And so she was on 24 milligrams, and he ended up taking her down, I think, to like 20. And she was wondering why. Does Suboxone affect our, I know it's a partial opioid agonist, but does it affect our respiratory if we're on other medications for like Seroquel or something like that?
How much Seroquel? Well, forget that. I don't even need to. So for me, the idea so if you're on a straight opiate agonist, one of the things opiates do is they affect your respiratory drive in your brain stem, and you, as you all know, stop breathing. That's an overdose. Okay.
Right.
Now, Suboxone is a partial agonist, right? So in theory, it should also decrease your respiratory rate. Okay. That being said, in practice, taking someone from 24 milligrams to 20 milligrams or 16 milligrams because you're concerned about respiratory rate is a complete misguided misunderstanding of what Suboxone is. Look, I can give a guy, let's just, all things being neutral, after 32 milligrams, number one, all your receptors are saturated. Number two, I'm sure I did a study on going from 8 milligrams to 32 milligrams to even 50 or 60 milligrams of Suboxone, which is a silly dose, isn't going to affect anyone's respiratory rate because the receptors are saturated. The general thing is true. Opiates decrease your respiratory rate. The clinical application of Suboxone going from 24 to 20 or 16 because you're worried about respiratory rate is, I don't want to say anything about her doctor, but it's a silly thing. That being the case, if you got somebody on 600 milligrams of Seroquel where they're drooling, you should decrease the Seroquel, not the Suboxone.
Right, because the Suboxone is like for its addiction, like helping them with their addiction. And why would you take away the medication that is helping them to not use drugs whenever you could just help take away a little bit of the Seroquel?
The Suboxone is not affecting his respiratory rate from 16 to 24. You got to be it's like saying someone's, hey, I'm going to decrease your benzodiazepines from 4 milligrams to 2 milligrams because you're drinking 2/5 of whiskey every night. Well, why don't you decrease the whiskey, because that's what's going to kill him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I hope that helps.
Absolutely. It was great. I really do appreciate it. I don't want to keep you held hostage on here. How do you want to stay for a little bit longer, or do you need to go?
I don't mind if you. Hey, are we okay, guys? You sure? Oh, yeah. How's my boy? Okay, we're good.
Okay, cool. I did not know you had a little baby. That is so amazing.
Yes, everyone thinks I'm his grandfather.
Aw. Can I ask you a little bit more of a personal question?
Sure.
I really noticed how passionate you are about helping addicts, and I can only assume that you have that much passion behind it because you were affected directly by addiction. Is that true, or is somebody close to you an addict?
You make me Yeah, I didn't. A lot of my patients and clients always think they're like, you're the first time I've ever met a normie that understands addicts, and they know I don't do heroin or anything. And it took me my give me a second. I had forgotten about it, and I don't even think about it. But I was 4 years old when my father passed away from heavy substance abuse. I don't really talk about it, and it's weird even talking about it. My sister would probably yell at me because we've been in denial our whole lives. But yeah, my father was. He was a neat guy, super neat, educated guy. He was a geophysicist. He was an attorney. But the only thing I remember from my father is Johnny Walker, Black Label, 2 packs of cigarettes a day, opium, which is the same thing as heroin, pills, which were all benzos and phenobarb. And I was 4 years old, and I remember seeing him for the last time in a hospital.
I'm really sorry about that, but I knew that there was something. I knew it because you have so much passion, and I was talking to my friends on the phone, and I was like, I know Dr. B has been touched by the disease of addiction. I just know he has, because your passion to help other people is just, I have never experienced somebody like you before that was a doctor. And so I am so sorry that happened, but because of that happening, you help so many people just being on my channel. Just being on my channel and helping other people understand that there's no shame in needing help and getting on medically assisted treatment. And I am so grateful and thankful that you felt comfortable enough to even share that with us, because it means so much to us.
Thank you.
And I don't want to cry, but it's just like, I knew it, Dr. B, and you're the coolest. I mean, your dad didn't go in vain, because you are out here doing the deal and helping people for real.
Thank you, Nicole. I mean, I just do a small part in all of this, but thank you. That's gracious of you guys, and all of you guys. Yeah.
We appreciate you so much, and your time here means a lot. And I know that so many people look forward to you coming on here and just talking with us and kind of, educating and helping us to understand about our own, our addictions. For the longest time, I didn't realize. I thought it was because I was just lacking in morals and values, and I didn't know how to do life right. But it's like, the more I learn about addiction, the more I learn that, like, my brain was hijacked, and I don't make excuses. I take responsibility for all the things that I did when I was in active addiction, and I'm not proud of any of those things, but it's so important to me to help other people understand that they're not alone, and that just because you're a drug addict doesn't mean that you can't do so many things and achieve a better life, and I want people to see that there is hope in recovery and that they can make it out of addiction,
Absolutely. So you bring a wonderful point out. My personal experience, and you brought this up. So, my idea of addiction as a child growing up after my father passed was, wow, this is a monster. There is no cure, because we went through riches to rags, spending money on his substance abuse and curing him, and that's not true. It's a complex, difficult thing to deal with and treat, but there is hope, there is help, there is recovery. And that, if I can just lend that to patients, families, supporters, if I can educate the public about that, then I've done a little piece in this whole business. Because it's the families suffer just as much. It's a hopeless, helpless feeling with no end in sight, and it's a black hole. And that's not true. there's hope and there's recovery, and every day can be a better day. And if you failed today, there's always tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, I met with my parents today because we went to go have lunch, and my mom and dad live about 45 minutes away. So they came up to see me and my husband and my son, and we all went out to eat. Well, I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, I celebrated 4 years sober, 4 years without shooting up, 4 years without drinking alcohol, 4 years without popping a pill, 4 years of my parents having their daughter back. And my mom and dad came and we ate lunch together. And my dad said, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for having 4 years. And they gave me this little, my mom loves designer handbags. So she bought me a Coach wristlet with all the little, it's really pretty. I loved it. But for my 4 years sober, and I can't remember the last time my dad being able to tell me that he was proud of me, you know, except for like, you know, since I've been sober. I remember on my 1 year sober, they took me out and we went and bought some stuff and they were so proud of me. And then now on my 4 year, but it's like when I think back to when I was in active addiction, I didn't have that relationship with my mom and dad because I stayed far away from them as I could because I was always high. And so being able to go and my dad and be with my parents and for them to see me sober and taking care of my son and doing my best to help other people, it's like our family has just reunited. And my mom wrote a card and I was reading it and she was like, I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy to see you being able to help other people because addiction truly is a family disease and it affects everyone.
Absolutely. And I think you're doing an amazing job with this channel, and I hope you guys grow significantly, especially with that medication-assisted treatment, Suboxone stuff. So I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, you're right on the money. And one other thing, you know, you were talking about becoming a counselor. I have no idea why you can't become a counselor. That's easy, and you can do that, and you will do that. And if you ever want to come out here and meet Dave, we're happy to have you out here. Take a little vacation, bring your family out here. We'll send you to our IOP. You can hang out with Dave, meet Dave, see how he's doing. Because you know, you were saying that stuff. Are you crazy? I think you'd be an amazing counselor. Your knowledge base is better than most physicians on this stuff. So you can be very good. Believe me.
You know what, Dr. B? My aunt and my uncles and my cousins and my grandpa, they all live in California. And so we used to go back there like about once every 6 or 7 years, me and my parents would go out there because my mom's mom was still alive. We haven't been back there in a couple of years. But I was just talking to my mom about the weather in California and how you can wear a hoodie and it feels so good when the breeze comes off the ocean. But I seriously, I don't know what it is, but I'm so hard on myself and I don't give myself enough credit because I want so badly to help other people and I can't help it because my emotions are just so raw and I'm so passionate about helping other addicts because I remember what it was like whenever I felt like I was never going to get sober. I thought I was going to die and I was okay with dying. That was the thing. I was at a point in my life where I didn't care if I lived or died. And so it's so important to me to help other people know that they're not alone. So I'm seriously going to take you up on that offer and be out there in California this next year.
Come on out. We're in Orange County.
Okay. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you get off here because I know you got your little baby. And I really appreciate you coming on here, Dr. B, and just opening up and sharing part of your life with us. And also for helping us all just to learn and be more confident with our recovery and the choices that we've made to be on medically assisted treatment. Because it really does help to have someone on here that we can ask questions to, you know, because being on Suboxone I have felt, and I know other people, and I can speak for the people in chat, like we don't have a place, like we don't fit in, that our recovery is not valid. And it's so important to me to educate and to help other people learn that, you know, being on medically assisted treatment is an amazing tool, and it can help you, and you don't ever have to get off. And if it helps you stay sober, then screw what other people think. So I just really thank you so much for coming on here, and I will schedule another day for you to come on with Austin.
Absolutely. And thank you for being such a gracious hostess. You guys, thank you for even listening to me. I appreciate it. Anything I can do to help, reach out to Austin. And like I said, the questions, I guess they can send, you guys can send emails. You can do it on this show. You can go to my channel. And thank you for having me. I'm actually very honored to be with you guys, and feel very special to that you guys would actually listen to me and take my advice. And I really look forward to our next meeting. And I mean the California thing, Nicole.
I do too. I promise you, I'm going to message Austin, and we're going to make a day so that way I can come out and hang out with you guys. And I cannot wait to meet Dave, because I love listening to his story, and I can really, really relate to him, you know, so I'm super excited about it. And, thank you so much for being here, Dr. B. For real. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicole. And thank you all you guys for listening and saying all the nice stuff you did.
You guys go subscribe to Dr. B's channel. Don't waste your time. Go over there right now.
Thanks, Nicole. And reach out to Austin, and we'll do this soon, okay?
Okay, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.